prayer for the offering. Dear Lord, thank you very much for this day, for these children, and for the offerings that have been given and received. May they be used to help children and their families here in the Rawson and Mount Corey area and wherever they might be needed. Amen. Come on up here a little closer, gang, so you can see the book. Because I can't go down there too. Opal, come on up here, girl. Come on. What kind of things do you see in this picture? This is Moses and the crossing of the Red Sea. Anything you see? You see any animals? Horse.
Fish.
Fish. Yep.
Another fish.
Another fish.
And not much else except for water and
Lightning. Lightning.
Light.
Yeah. Okay. So this is Moses and the crossing of the Red Sea. The Hebrews were terrified. They had traveled across the desert, but now their way was barred by the Red Sea. And Pharaoh had changed his mind about letting them go and sent an army after them. And so there was an army behind them and the sea in front of them, and they didn't have any place to go to be safe. Why did you bring us all the way out here just to have us killed or dragged back into slavery? The people cried out to Moses. But Moses did not give up his faith in God. God will look after us, he said confidently, and he will crush our enemy. And then God told Moses to raise his staff and stretch out his hand over the sea to divide the water. So Moses stood before the sea and raised his hand. Let's do this. Get my cane there. You're going to be Moses. And stand up and stretch out that staff. Yeah! I think that's better than Charlton Heston. Do it again! Yeah! And all that night the Lord drove the sea back with a strong wind and turned it into dry land. That's awesome. The waters were divided and the Israelites went through the sea on dry ground. That's amazing. Yeah, there they go. With a wall of water on their right and on their left. See it? The water's divided. Yeah, and he's holding just like you did.
And I didn't even look at the picture.
You didn't even look at the picture. Look, Moses is there like that. Right? Awesome.
And I just did it.
And you just did it.
I did it.
This is great. The Egyptians were hard on the heels of the Hebrews and swiftly followed them into the sea because they thought they could catch them along the path that God had made. But God struck them with confusion so that the wheels of the chariots came off and everyone and everywhere there was chaos. And then he closed the waters together and all the Egyptians were swept under the sea. Of all that mighty army there were no survivors, not one single horse and not one single soldier. The people of Israel, safe on the far shore of the Red Sea, were filled with gratitude and relief, and they sang and danced in their joy, for they knew that their God was both mighty and merciful, and they praised him greatly. It says that Moses sang a song, and his sister Miriam sang a song, and this is a great thing. This is a great part of what's known as the Exodus, the crossing of the Red Sea. And it's important all through the Bible. It keeps being referred to as God's mighty deed. All right, let's have a prayer together. Dear Lord, thank you so much for this day. Thank you for this story about Moses and the parting of the Red Sea and how you delivered the Israelites from the hand of the Egyptians at that time and led them to safety. We are grateful for the ways in which you are with us and that you help us every day. Amen. Okay, thank you. You can go on downstairs.